we talk about, and people will critique us or criticize us about saying, oh, this is the next Google. Google wishes it was the next Zukul, quite honestly. Facebook wishes it was going to be, and you mark these words, it's going to come a point where people are going to say, wow, these guys were right.
Keith, how you doing today, buddy? I'm just so glad to have you here. People love you when you're on the Hangout, man. We get so many comments. It's just like crazy. It's like you're a superstar.
Well, thank you so much for those kind words. And to answer your question, today I'm doing extraordinary. And I mean that from the heart, of course. I try to be impeccable with my word.
Without giving too many details, I'd like to have you come back to me now and say, how do I talk to this person who has this huge group of people, and what is it? Start that conversation. We'll go back and forth like we a little bit did today,
okay.
how we got there.
Yeah, so last night I had a conversation with someone who has an enormously large organization. He's a lifetime, the last 25, 28 years. He's made his living in the network marketing business. Diamond from back in the Ambit days, the granddaddy of them all, Dexter Yeager, is a personal trainer of this individual. And we had a conversation, and it got to a point where I had his attention, and I came to Bart and said, Bart, what do I do about this individual? Because you got to understand, when you're talking about a professional network marketer, they are very set in their ways, and because they've had so much success, and when I'm talking about so much success, $1 million a year income, well then they understand that that success affords them the right to be recruited by companies and flown in and wined and dined in order to attract them to whatever the new business is that is trying to recruit them. So understanding that whole dynamic and understanding this was someone who kind of mentored me in this space, I wanted to give back. So I said, Bart, what should I do? How should I approach this person? What do I say to him to try to help him, really? The light bulbs started going off. Everything started to click. And I had begun doing my research, because I always want to research everything, and I don't want to just jump out on blind faith, if you will. I agree, but I still want to confirm and verify everything. So in that process, that's when you guys start hearing me make these projections. It's based on me saying, let me apply the vision of what I see is about to happen, because some of these things, once you put certain things in motion, it's irreversible. And I suggest you do have to have a little faith, because success does leave trails, and there's trails of the success that's going on in this company. And Rome wasn't built in a day, so you do have to have a little patience to have something that's unprecedented in history to allow it to happen. And when it does begin to happen, then everybody's going to be a genius and say, oh, told you so, told you so. But here's what's going to happen. All of the naysayers, they cannot resist the facts. When the money starts flowing, when we're all doing things and they're seeing the results that are unprecedented, all of like the person I was talking about, I asked him the question, how much are you going to make in the next 2 years in your other business? He said 10 million. And this is a guy who's driven, and when he says that, he didn't say that haphazardly. He's got a plan. And I said, you know what? And I believe you, because I know you put in your 18, 20 hours a day. I said, now, in that same time frame, I'll be making more than that monthly, and I'll put in probably 1,000th of the time building my business as you built yours. Now, which would you rather do? Would you rather put 18 hours a day to get 10 million a month, or 1 hour a day, 10 minutes a day to get 10 million a month? And he was like, oh, okay, you got my attention. I said, you know what is even more remarkable about what I'm saying to you? It appears I'm recruiting you right now, right? He said, yeah, Keith, we understand the business, and I said, how much do you think I'll make if I'm lucky enough to recruit you into this business? He says, "Oh, you're going to make a lot of money, Keith. You know how if I ever do this, you know how I said, "Wrong. I'm not going to make a single dime directly from you, not one penny. I know you are part of a 325,000 member organization, and I know your pedigree, and I know how you've been the top earner, and I know you have followers." I said, "But guess what? If you do decide to get in this business, I'm not going to be your sponsor. As a matter of fact, we won't know who your sponsor is going to be." And he was like, "What you talking about, Willis?" I said, "Exactly. This is unlike anything you've ever seen before." And I said, "Do you know how good it feels to have the purity of intent to help you with nothing to gain personally?" And he was like, "Okay, you got my attention." And my point is this. We have something that is pure genius. It is a masterpiece. It is going to change the whole landscape of business, let alone network marketing, because of the points that I'm making. This is something that is, every time I think about it, let alone talk about it, I get chills. I mean, I got goosebumps right now at the reality of what is going to be. And what do we have to do? We have to like, we have to comment, we have to share, and we have to be patient and let nature, let this really abomination of nature named Jeremy Rush do his thing, because we all are going to benefit so much because of the fact that we were smart enough to take the risk and get the greatest reward. Okay, now I'm learning about this thing called Zukul, by the way, ad network. And if you do your homework on rev shares, you're going to find that literally 50, 100 million people are addicted to rev shares. But this ain't your grandfather's or your daddy's rev share. This is unlike all of those other rev shares. Yes, this is real. This has some real foundation to it. This has some real staying power, longevity, because it's going to actually generate revenue from the ads. So all of these addicts, when they see this, if you build it, they will come. They're coming. And when they come, all of us who have been patient, who've been committed, who've stuck with the script, we're going to benefit not tenfold. We're going to benefit hundredfold. I'm getting choked up. I'm so excited. I mean, this is just, it really chokes you up when you really have the intellectual understanding of what we're involved in. I really am praying that I could sleep. I can't sleep a wink. I'm just so giddy with anticipation, not of what this is going to mean to me, quite honestly, but the amount of service, not just me, but me and Bart and all of the other of my family members, my new family members of One Link, all of the tremendous things, the mountains, and even greater things than that, if you have but the faith of a mustard seed, we're going to do. Because we're predisposed. I mean, I watched the reaction to my buddy, and I saw I really got a family here that is going to do remarkable things, things that Horatio only dreamed of. We're going to do. And boy, watch out when I get excited. I'm telling you, I'm almost excited.
Zukul is going to become a household name. Besides all the other stuff we're going to do, Zukul is going to become a household name. And Keith, I'll let you go.
Yeah, I mean, and the reality is the explanation is pretty simple. You know, I have something that heretofore has never existed and is going to change the world as we know it. You know, we talk about, you know, and people will critique us or criticize us about saying, oh, this is the next Google. Google wishes it was the next Zukul. Quite honestly, Facebook wishes it was going to be, and you mark these words, it's going to come a point where people are going to say, wow, these guys were right. When I talk to my buddy later today, I'm going to simply share with him what I know that he doesn't know. He knows a lot that I don't know in the multi-level marketing, network marketing industry, but he doesn't know what I know is about to happen and all the things that are about to happen with Zukul, and all the things that the Zukul ad network, not, I'm not even going to go into all those other things, just the Zukul ad network, the traffic that is going to bring. And if you're in before that wave, and then you ride that wave, it is going to be unprecedented, the experience we're all going to have. So it becomes very simple for me to simply let him know what I know, what I've been studying since December 22nd, since I got in this business. And, you know, with him trying to attract me to his business, I'm like, why would I want to work that hard and make less when I can work a lot less and make a lot more? And that's really what it comes down to. I mean, I just have to be honest with him. And more than likely, folks like this, because they're so used to bringing their whole organization, it's going to be tough for him to grasp. Luckily, this particular person is smart enough to listen. So he's hearing what I'm saying. And, you know, he thinks that he would be doing Zukul a favor in bringing his organization and his 325,000 people to Zukul. I'm going to compel him to understand it's the antithesis. Quite honestly, the best favor he could do for his company is to see if there's synergies and have a collaboration with Zukul and get the traffic that we're going to bring to his organization and help them become one of our, I guess, companies that we're working with. Or basically, they don't even need that. They can just start using all the tools that Zukul has to build their business. There's nothing better I can do to help him than to make him understand we have a suite of tools, a toolkit that any business can flourish if they take advantage of what we already have. That's what this is, how this all started, and then the masterpiece was created with the guaranteed signups, and that makes Zukul the hub and the masterpiece. And you can't be walking over a dollar to pick up a penny. And that's basically what all these other people are doing, and so it becomes very easy to make the argument of, look at what our risk reward is. Look at what our the opportunity we have here versus any other opportunities out there, and which line do you want to be in? It becomes, I mean, he can't convince himself that he's more excited about what he's doing than I am about what I'm doing. And I'm not going to use excitement. I'm going to use facts and figures and science to back up why I'm so fervently in belief of what is about to happen. That's really what it comes down to. The numbers do not lie. When you're talking about an organization that brought in 1.6 million people in 2 months that couldn't shine our shoes when you really look at what we have versus them, and don't think all of these other people who may not know about us, but they know a lot about rev shares, they're going to understand and they're going to analyze and they're going to recognize that we have something far superior. And then what are they going to do? They're going to hear all of their leaders who are in those other companies that are most excited about Zukul. And they're going to say, wait a minute, I can make some chump change over here, which is good chump change, but then I can make the real money at Zukul. In every single one of them, 99, 100% compliance are going to come over and join Zukul. And then who benefits when that happens? All of us who had the foresight to get in before the wave. And now we're going to just ride that wave off to the beaches and all the sunsets and to wherever else we want to go, because we're in now, we're in before the wave. It's such a beautiful place to be. It brings such a smile to my face.
How many people do you think are sitting there right now looking at our business going, oh, it's taking too long, but when it changes, I'm going to join?
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be so many. Got to be so many. Think about that.
There's so many. And you know what? Even if he doesn't get the light, here's what is going to happen, Bart. This is irrefutable. all of his followers, all of those people who haven't had the success, which is the majority, 97% of the folks who've been in this space have not succeeded. So they are going to hear about it, and then they're going to come. And then what's going to happen is all the gurus, they're going to be the followers instead of the leaders, because they're going to follow the money. Like in anything, follow the paper trail, follow the money. The money is going to lead. All right. And as we have greater and greater stories of the money, then all of his cronies, all of their followers are going to say, well, we may spend a little time over with you, but over here is where the money is. We're going to where the money is. There was an American bank robber named John Dillinger. And one day they asked him, why do you rob banks? That's where the money is. Okay, why do you come to Zukul? Because that's where the money is. That's what the bottom line is. People are going to go to where the money is. So all of these tens of thousands of other network marketing companies, you best believe they're all coming. I'm telling you, they cannot. They will not. They don't have the ability to resist us because of what we got. So that patience. There are going to be people who they're looking at things as they are now, and they're not projecting out to the future. But you have to be willing, you have to be able to see into the future about what is happening, and all the moves are being made. And when you're making these many moves of this magnitude, there's going to be a little bumps, speed bumps, and that's what it is nothing more than a speed bump. So yes, we're building that vehicle that's going to break the sound barrier and break the land speed barrier and record, but sometimes in the course of getting there, you gotta go over a few obstacles, and sometimes those obstacles that you get over, you can't get over, so you're gonna have to go around a few of those obstacles, and sometimes you can't get around them, so you got to go under those obstacles. And you know what? If you can't get over, you can't get around, you can't get under, you got to bust through those obstacles, which is what's about to happen with Zukul and with Jeremy. Believe me, he gets it. He understands these things, and he's making all the right moves. So patience, it's such a virtue. If you're patient, if you understand, you're going to really go out and share this with every one of your loved ones. And if they don't get it now, it's okay. At least you try. And they will come back later, and you don't say it in a snide way, but you then say, I did try to tell you so way back then. You're still in great place now, because welcome home. You're finally part of the family. But the sooner you get a part of this family, the better it is. That doesn't mean 2 months from now, 2 years from now, this still isn't going to be the place to be. But I'd be lying if I were to lead you to believe that it's going to be as good 6 months from now as it is right now, because we get rewarded for our faith, for our fact that we made this move before we've had all of the compelling evidence. We're going to get rewarded a little more substantially because of that. That funnel, as Bart said, is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. We're right here in the very beginning of the funnel, at ground zero of that funnel. What a beautiful place to be. It's so lovely. Imagine. It makes me think of a song called Imagine.